Before SF came on the scene and gave us the mystery of who is SF, the big mystery was concerning Mowl and Fist Salud. Which is which? Who does what? We're going to answer that question by way of a shootout. And since we're having a shootout, you know what this is. Let's have a shootout.
Ooh, what tension. Who knew yo-yo violence was a thing? We'll check the results at the end, but welcome to it, the definitive yo-yo. And today, we're going to examine 3 of the best yo-yos coming out of the Mowl brand. Specifically, the M, the Surveillance, and the Surveil. So as I understand it, Fist Salud and Mowl are 2 sides of the same coin. Salud being the team and Mowl being the yo-yo brand. Deep in Japan's underground. Fist Salud, the team, got its start in 2012 with Kazuki Hayashi as its leader. Members include Shu Takada, Tessa Piccolo, Andrew Mader, and John Ando, just to name a few. And since the players are all sponsored by other companies, I'm thinking Fist Salud is more of a loose affiliation versus a strict totalitarian regime. Last video, we touched on design overlap. We see it with the Countach and the Edge Beyond, and the Magical has several yo-yos that look like it. And Mowl has that going on for itself as well. Whatever Mowl lacks in original yo-yo design, they more than make up for in presentation. And you'll see that as we examine each yo-yo. But first, let's take a look at their initial entry, the M. The M came to me by way of Worlds 2016. And the first thing you'll notice immediately are the engravings. It has the best engravings in the game. Again, presentation. And this elevates it to an almost artistic expression. Next, you'll notice its retro feel. Pictured here is the M+, the bimetal version. Also sexy. I'm being told that the Fifth Salute edition, the one I have, is a bit of a rarity, so take it with a grain of salt. The finish is soft matte, making this thing feel ceramic, and I do like it a lot. But it should be compared to the Genesis because that's what it's styled after. The Genesis came out before I got back into yo-yoing, and it is a throwback to another time, before bimetals made a big hit or splash. This is the time when monometals were king. 2008, 9, 2010, something like that. You'll notice that between the two yo-yos, all the essential elements are the same, just in different proportions. The play characteristics are similar, but the Genesis plays heavier. It also is unforgiving on string hits because the catch zone is a little small, so I have to be a bit more precise when I'm throwing it. The M plays lighter, smoother, and seems to be a bit more refined. I think it's the better bearing because it's a Diffio licensed concave bearing in it, which I do enjoy. It too suffers from a unforgiving catch zone, so this is not one that I would think of first in terms of competitive play, but it is cool. Check the stats. The numbers are pretty typical, but the yo-yo itself, what comes together is anything but typical. This thing is special. It feels that way to me because of its artistry. And like other artists' pieces, it feels a bit more at home on a display case or on a shelf. Very nice. Next up, Mowl's answer to the hyped hybrids of 2017. The Surveil. Make no mistake, this is the noisy cricket of the bunch. 2017 gave us a lot of hybrids, and Mowl dipped their toe in the water to give us the Surveil, and their beautiful interpretation of that. The rainbow rims phenomenon is still going strong, and several of the yo-yos that's out now featuring bimetal designs and hybrids are also doing the colored and rainbow rims. And here's ours. Personally, I like rainbow rims on that neutral body. Even in the wild, the thing is eye-catching. The camera doesn't quite pick up what you see with your naked eye, but it does a fairly decent job. If you haven't noticed before, the Surveil is very much styled after the iceberg from last year. They look almost exactly alike, with a couple of subtle differences. Even in the hand and with the naked eye, the differences don't readily become apparent. But we'll talk about what those differences are just a little later. Same body style, same profile, even the same shape. Check the stats. It wasn't until I started doing research for this yo-yo that I found that the Surveil was almost a gram less in weight versus the iceberg. And in play, you definitely feel that 1 gram difference. The iceberg still feels very powerful. Even at low speed, you feel that the spin of the yo-yo is gonna last. But it does feel a little heavier than I remember. Power is this yo-yo's dominant quality. On the other hand, the Surveil feels a bit more subdued, a little bit more graceful. I wouldn't say it is as powerful, but The differences are very, very minimal. This thing acts like the iceberg, plays like the iceberg. It's just, you do feel a little less power with it. Still very capable though. Next up, the best one out the bunch. And let me add, I've been wanting to review this for a long time. The Surveillance by Mowl, the full Yo-Yo review. It took me almost 2 years to get another Mowl after the M. I missed a couple of drops and was afraid that Mowl wouldn't make any more. But I'm grateful that they did. And boy, did they. They went from the original 3 colors to the gold rims and this super sexy blue. Double blue. Triple blue? I don't know, but it's nice. The Surveil even took on some blue hues as well. Look at this. That is sexy. And check this out. Nice photography. Then they introduced cityscapes, Prague and Tokyo being some of the most notable. I snatched up this slate and black version, which I don't regret, even though it wasn't my first choice. But the Yo-Yo should be compared to the Omega Glide. You may scoff at first, but check it out. All the features of the Glide, angles, walls, cuts, are all seen in the Surveillance. This is just a bimetal version of that Yo-Yo. And I found out totally by accident. I just happened to sit this down next to it and took notice. At the end, it seems that Mowl takes an existing Yo-Yo design, tweaks it to perfection, releases it in the wild, and gives us something to strive for, because all 3 of these Yo-Yos have been delicious. This particular one is a little high, but I don't regret it. And if you decide you want to go that route, I think you'll be rewarded as well. And how does this particular Yo-Yo play? Well, it is the smoothest and the most stable out of the bunch. It really makes good use of the bimetal material. This is one Yo-Yo that I do not regret paying a little more for. There are certain bimetals that are okay, and then there are the premier bimetals, and this one is the premier one. Stable, smooth, long spinning, and just a joy to have. I really do enjoy this, and I'm so glad that Mowl decided to make more, because I would have deeply regretted not being able to have one. Researching Fist Salute and Mowl has been a pleasure, and I'm really seeing that it's much more than just a couple of Yo-Yos thrown together. There's a real community here, and to show, I'm going to montage this out. Start now. Oh yeah, what was the result of our little shootout? Well, spoilers, I owned them already. My thanks to everybody that came out for this double club meet. Waylon, PJ, Aiden, Josh, Tiana, Lyle, Freddie, and Tori. It was fun, real fun. Well, that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna say, may your friends and your binds both be tight. All right, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.